in trouble, in trouble, in trouble, in trouble, in trouble. Now you in trouble, in trouble.
Hey, Trey J, that's hard.
In trouble.
Now you in trouble. Playing with my brothers. Fuck around with these bitches, boy. Scheme from my shop. The way I put that G on, but they might give me another. I can't just sit here and fuck it, let alone sit here struggle. I gotta get off my ass, get this paper, know I love it. My women mad, a soldier. She mad, a warrior. Preach the prophet, shot bomb. Bitch, I'm exploding, let's get stupid, damn sneaky bitch. No love. Blocking all of my channels, my bitch can't see what I'm doing. Now make big nose and keep going. Till these superstars, I'm out of one. I got big drip, what you call it? Make that money rain like a faucet. All these bitches wanna commit adultery till I pull up and she scoping. High style ass preach does. Once gon' pull it out, even knowing I don't play game with nobody. If she bad, I pull it out. See this cute bitch and she lurking, putting her toes all in the dirt before a nigga. Hey, want me a bit that's tender. Though she read what she saw, deep inside remember. I'm just walking, look.
how you was moving it. I had the top bro like fam. Shawty, there must be a scam. And then I saw what you was drinking on.
Single mothers an opportunity. I gotta take it. A preaching prophet is solid practice. A lot of patience, no game playing. I promise a real conversation. No representative. Illest nigga up in the premises. You make the right decision tonight. You gon' remember this. Both had a good time because the vibe cool. So she gave up the line for me to slide through. Say she tired of disguises being lied to. Well, don't sweat it, baby, I got you.
You see me, you ain't never gon' see another nigga the exact same way. A nigga greater than other niggas, the way they play. I know you been hurt, I've been hurt too. But just let a nigga slide through and lean on my shoulder, girl. And just know that I got you. Ooh. Just know that I got you.
I got big rain, you mad, get stained, work hard, then play, bad bitch, my taste, we vibe, we lay, you purple, you gay, your leech ass, lil' fame, I won't walk, not the same, fuck wrong. Fuck wrong, these people. Fuck wrong. I try to tell these motherfuckers time and time, nigga. Fuck wrong. Pussy ass, purple ass nigga, man. Fuck wrong. They get your born ass right. Niggas better get their weight up, you little body bitch. Worry about a damn pay cut, you little body bitch. I ain't worried about none of these niggas, little body bitch. You that scary ass, cow ass, little body bitch. Had to fuck around, get my rank up, you little body bitch. And I'm pouring up, yeah, young nigga, and I'ma take a sip. All these niggas run down hate, but tell them zip it, lip. And you a dumb ass, scary ass, one little body bitch. And I ain't worried about nothing, nigga, nah, I ain't worried about shit. I got more than one, so you know, nigga, don't reminisce. I spit flavors on they damn beats, niggas better catch a bitch. Never knew a goddamn man be scared to roll ass, dirt ass, little damn body ass nigga. Get body with it damn scripture with your little body ass nigga. Nigga, I'm a true priest, true line nigga, true Zion ass nigga. And you a little boy, a little bitch ass, little body ass nigga. I got big rain, you mad, get stained, work hard, then play. Bad bitch, my taste. We vibe, we lay. You purple, you gay. Your leech ass, lil' fame. I won't walk, not the same. Fuck wrong. Fuck wrong, nigga. Fuck wrong. I tell them, nigga. Fuck wrong. Get your shit together, nigga. Fuck wrong. Work. I'ma do this shit till I rot, you little body bitch. I'ma judge your ass like your pot, you little body bitch. And I'm smooth with it, y'all little body bitch. And I'm fake to the cops, you little bitch. And oh, bitch. Need a princess Papa, little body bitch. Or anyone down the slide, you little body bitch. Yeah, I keep a couple straps in my ride, you little body bitch. Just in case anyone wanna die. Work hard, didn't play, bad bitch, my taste. We vibe, we late, we purple, we pay, the new tails, love fight, all along, and I sing.
One, two, fifth. They let the priest in the building, nigga. 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 Beers, braids, and boots, even though I got a bald head, long nose. Pistol, I feel that bitch with bald heads, all prank. Tissue pulling out that boy's head. Shit's chopped, looking like a bull. At a street fight, 2 hands faster than the Honda. You don't want no problems, roll up on you like Blanca. One West, that's the mantra. Red hairband with a spray gun like Contra. Check your attitude, the gear stretch, longitude, the latitude. Come on, I'm a priest, bitch, so some fucking gratitude. Could tell I'm One West by the way I walk, way I talk. 125th straight New York, Harlem, nigga. And I'm a reppin' to the death of me. I die for the guy on the right or the left of me. You turning the beast mode, I turn to the priest mode. Get the knocking niggas out like Craig for thinking they depot. It's One West, 1, 2 priests in the building, nigga. They let the priests in the building, nigga. They let the priests in the building. This is One West, 1, 2 fifth. They let the priests in the building, nigga. They let the priests in the building, nigga. They let the priests in the building, nigga. Hardcore. Lose my shit for him, I blow and get the picking niggas off through that one-eye scope. We got a garment down to the foot, girdle around the paps, not a scuff on the boot. Yeah, you niggas try and look tough and look cute while we rock rough and stuff until your stuffing loose. Been held back too long, now we busting loose, breaking down the barriers, this destructive truth. To a dumb nigga rhyme and he said we the Israelites, that's no denying. I said yeah, but you ain't in complaint. You trying to be Kyrie, I'm trying to be General Muhammad. That's right. It make me want to break a nigga's spine and do what a doc can't even fucking realign him. I get a nigga to get a nigga on consignment. It's One West, 1, 2 fifth. They let the priests in the building, nigga. They let the priests in the building, nigga. They let the priests in the building. This is One West, 1, 2 in the building. They let the priests in the building, nigga. They let the priests in the building, nigga. This the truth. This the home. Money truth. When niggas ain't gotta roam. Yeah. When niggas ain't gotta die alone. Put a nigga on both sides. You ain't gotta die alone. Be like, that nigga deader than a motherfucker. I brought my sword back wetter than a motherfucker. Fuck the turtles. I'm shredded like a motherfucker. The loose can and the firebomb. Everything on this gun custom like a Diawana. Call a Wanyala. The Kwa, Razan, the Mafia, Yahaja, Malakapo people. Even when we chillin', nigga, fuck them fake camps. Better get with the realer niggas. For Christ come back and say, kill them niggas! Hold up. Shalom. Yeah. Y'all about some y'all Shabrakatha. Y'all Shamar about some y'all Shai. This is the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Understand? Started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. As you just heard, we saw in the building. You got any questions? Come with them. You know what I mean? Our job as priests and officers of the Lord is to answer your questions. All right, 1 second. So now is the time that you come with them. Like we always say, this is something you can't do in your Christian church. You cannot ask questions about the Bible and get a real answer. And you get scriptures to back up the answers. How do I know that? Because I too was in the Christian church. I couldn't ask questions about the Bible. You understand? All I could do was just take the pastor's word for it. And that's what I had. And turns out, because of it, I knew nothing about the Bible. I didn't know that you are the seed of your father. That your mother, with not taking away anything from her, you know what I'm saying? Not taking away anything from women who bear children 9 months in their belly, you know what I'm saying? Go through all the pains as prophesied in the book of Genesis that you would go through. You understand? That is honorable, and you deserve that right. You understand? But what we tend to forget is that a woman cannot get pregnant without the seed of a man. That seed inside that man is the life that is being put inside your belly. You understand? Your egg is a shell. Here's what I like to compare it to. It's like chicken eggs. Many people don't know this. They think that chickens lay eggs. They don't need a man, or they don't need a rooster to lay eggs and hatch them. All right? They think that the chicken just lays the egg by itself, and then they sit on the egg long enough, it'll turn into a baby chicken. That's not how it works. In fact, it works a lot like how human women work. You understand? Every now and then, you shed eggs from your ovaries, right? That's how the Lord set it up. Your body naturally flushes out eggs every so often, typically for women, once a month. And that process is happening for about a week. You shedding whatever eggs in your system because it didn't get fertilized. It's the same with a chicken. A chicken lays an egg every now and then. But because that egg doesn't get fertilized while it's still inside the chicken, it's just an egg. It's just a shell with some yolks. You know what I'm saying? And that egg does not carry a baby in it. It's just an egg. The only way that chicken can breed is if a rooster comes to fertilize her eggs. You understand? And then that chicken brings forth life. And it's the exact same way with us. The man has to come inside of a woman and fertilize her eggs for her to give birth and bring forth life. The seed is already living inside of us. It's swimming around with nowhere to go until we give it somewhere to go. And you know what I'm saying? Again, not to take away any glory from the woman, but that's our glory. That don't take away that man's right and his glory. He has life inside of him. Without him, there is no life. And furthermore, without the Most High, ain't nothing. You ain't bringing forth no life. No matter how many nuts you bust. All right. So welcome to the class. About to get into it. I know some of y'all probably don't like my language, but again, this ain't the Christian church. We actually teach you the Bible here. We actually teach you the truth here. So forgive my words, though I be rude in speech, yet not in knowledge. Meaning I'm not rude in my knowledge. I have knowledge. And if you would hear me, you could get something. So y'all see the topic of the class. Is Kamala Harris really the seed of a black man? This right here has been dividing the black community for about a week now. It's been dividing, but really it's been going on for longer. And since you got into the VP position, it has been dividing black people, because black people are not on a unified front on is she black or is she not. And I'm here to settle the score and let you know that Kamala Harris is not a black woman. And it's the same way that Bob Marley is not a black man. It's the same way that what's that one chick name? Amber Rose is not a black woman. These are not black people. They just have dark skin. As a matter of fact, believe it or not, this is very controversial. Rather. Obama is not a black man. That's just the fact. That's what it is. You can debate me if you want to. You're gonna find out that I'm right and you're wrong. You understand? Again, if you got any questions, come with them. All right. So first off, we're gonna go to Genesis, and I'm gonna prove to you. I'm gonna teach you that all throughout the Bible, your genealogy. This is the first thing you have to understand. Your genealogy is based off of the man. You understand? If you plant a seed, any seed, whether it's an apple seed, banana seed, strawberry, orange, whatever seed you plant, it don't matter where you plant it. If I go to an orange grove with an apple seed and I plant my apple seed inside the same soil as the orange trees, I'm not going to get an orange. I'm not going to get a half orange, half apple. I'm going to get an apple. That's science. A lot of y'all say that the Bible ain't about science. Science is all through the Bible. Shalom, Monique, or AKA Sunshine. You understand? Science is all throughout the Bible. So if you plant an apple seed in an orange grove, you're going to get an apple. If you plant an orange seed in an apple field, you're going to get an orange. It's not going to be any different. The soil is used to bring forth that seed. You understand? It's meant to nurture that seed. It's the same thing that a woman does. That's her role. You understand? A woman nurtures that seed after it's been fertilized in her egg, or after her egg has been fertilized with that seed. She nurtures that seed in her womb, just like a seed would in a field, in some soil. You understand? So we're going to go to Genesis 10, chapter 10, verse 1. And I'm going to show you in the Bible that this is the case. It's the book of Genesis, chapter 10, verse 1. Now, these are the generations of the sons of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And unto them were sons born after the flood. Better yet, we're going to hold this. We're going to come right back to Genesis 10. I'm going to go even further back in Genesis. We're going to go to Noah. All right. And go to Noah. I mean, not Noah. Adam, Salaki. Let's see. The book of Genesis, chapter 5, verse 1. This is the book of the generations of Adam. In the day that God created man, in the likeness of God made he him. Male and female created he them, and blessed them and called their name Adam in the day when they were created. And Adam lived 130 years and begat a son in his own likeness, after his image, and called his name Seth. in the days of Adam after he had begotten Seth were 800 years, and he begat sons and daughters. Now, in Genesis 5, you're seeing that Adam had sons and he had daughters after Cain and Abel. After the whole story of Cain and Abel, we know that Adam had two sons named Cain and Abel. After that, he had another son named Seth, and then he had more sons and daughters. Right? This is the first time we're hearing about Adam's daughters. Right? So, and Adam lived 130 years and begat sons in his own likeness. In the days of Adam, after he had begotten Seth, were 800 years, and he begat sons and daughters. Verse 5. And all the days that Adam lived were 930 years, and he died. And Seth lived 105 years and begat Enos. And Seth lived after he begat Enos 807 years and begat sons and daughters. And now Enos is when it's saying begat, it means giving birth to, right? Conceiving or birthing sons and daughters. All right. And all the days of Seth were 912 years, and he died. And Enos lived 90 years and begat Canaan. And Enos lived after he begat Canaan 850 years and begat sons and daughters. And all the days of Enos were 905 years, and he died. And Canaan lived 70 years and begat Mahalalel. And Canaan lived after he begat Tahalel 840 years and begat sons and daughters. Notice the trend here. Even though it's saying he begat sons and daughters, why is it not making any mention of the daughters? It's telling you about his sons. It's saying this son had this son and this son had that son. But why is it not saying how the daughters had children? Think of this. If you're a woman out there, when you get married to a man, what happens to your last name? Your last name becomes your maiden name, and you take on your husband's name. Have you ever stopped to wonder why do you get and this is, Western culture, this is New Age culture, because, in biblical times, you wouldn't necessarily get your father's last name or your husband's last name, but you would now become the property of that man. You understand? In the Bible, a lot of times it says the house of that man, the house of Israel, for instance. All right. So you got to ask yourself, in America, when you get married, why do you take on your husband's name? All right. Why do your children take on your husband's last name? Why don't they take on your last name? At least that's the popular cultural thing to do. All right. The cultural thing to do is to name your child after your father, or after his father or her father. So it will be whatever you decide to name them, and then their father's last name. All right. Why does that happen? It's because those children are property of that man. That wife is property of that man. You don't believe me? I'll give it to you in the Bible. From Ecclesiasticus 3:36-24. Ecclesiasticus chapter 36, verse 24. He that getteth a wife beginneth a possession, a help like unto himself, and a pillar of rest. This is in the Bible. All right. Your wife is your possession. She belongs to you. This is why if another man touches your property, which is your wife, you're offended. And you want to delete that man for touching your wife. You understand? And you want to delete him if he tries to have sex with your wife. If he tries to take advantage of your wife, you want to delete him because that's your property. And if any man touches your property, you're willing to take his life. This is why you see this happening in the black community alone. You might see a man finding out that his wife cheated on him, you understand? Went and whored on him, or went and became what they call it, a 403 or 304, whatever they call it. And went and became a 304 on him. And he finds out and he analyzed the woman and the man. Understand? And you know what? That's biblical as well. This is biblical. This is how black people are, because we understand. We have that in us. It's just in us. It's in everybody, as far as I know. You understand? The Bible says that the adulterer and the adulteress shall both be put to death. That's in the Bible. So that's why you feel that way, because someone destroyed your property. Somebody tainted your property and you want vengeance for it. You want, better yet, you want justice for it. Because if somebody stole something out of your house, you would want them to give it, you would give it back. You would want them to pay you back for damages. This is why people go to court. Because not only do you have to give me back my property, you owe me something on top of that. You owe me on top of that, court of law. You still owe $1,000, that's grand theft. So that accumulates a higher sentencing than a petty theft. You understand? These are practical things, teaching you practical knowledge. All right. So back to Genesis 5, and where we at? Mahalalel, right? Verse 16. Mahalalel lived after he begat Jared. Verse 15. My bad. And Mahalalel lived 65 years and begat Jared. And Mahalalel lived after he begat Jared 830 years. And I'm gonna just keep reading so that you can see more of the pattern. And begat sons and daughters. Verse 17. In all the days of Mahalalel, I don't know how to say his name, so I might have to get it in Hebrew. Mahalalel. I just do it, say it like that. Mahalalel were 895 years, and he died. And Jared lived 162 years, and he begat Enoch. And Jared lived after he begat Enoch 800 years, and begat sons and daughters. And all the days of Jared were 962 years, and he died. And Enoch lived 65 years and begat Methuselah. And Enoch walked with God after he begat Methuselah 300 years and begat sons and daughters. And all the days of Enoch were 365 years. And Enoch walked with God, and he was not, for God took him. And Methuselah lived 187 years and begat Lamech. And Methuselah lived. Now I'm going to drop down because it's very repetitive. I'm going to go to the end of the chapter, verse 32. I started verse 31. And all the days of Lamech were 777 years, and he died. And Noah was 500 years old, and Noah begat Shem, Ham, and Japheth. All right, so that's the end of the chapter, and it made no mention of any of the daughters. It only mentioned sons. Now, you might think that it's a stretch to say that lineage is only based on fathers so far. Well, I'm going to go even deeper. So now we're going to go back to Genesis 10, verse 1. Now, these are the generations of the sons of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And unto them were sons born after the flood. The sons of Japheth, Gomer, and Magog, and Madai, and Javan, and Tubal, and Meshech, and Tyrus. You understand? Now these are all sons. Why? I'm sure I'm quite sure that Japhet had daughters as well. It's almost, if you keep shooting into a barrel, you're bound to hit a fish, right? So what I'm saying is, there's no way that Japhet could have kept having child after child after child and not got one. I mean, it's ways. It's very, it's possible, but it's highly unlikely. You understand? Even if somebody has 7 kids, let me look up the statistics. Someone only having one gender offspring. I don't know if that's the way I should ask it, but we're gonna see. We'll see what we come up with. Let me just read what it says. It says, according to a 2020 study that analyzed Swedish population data from 1932 onward, the gender of a person's offspring is essentially random, and there is no innate tendency to have one gender over the other. The study's lead author, Dr. Brendan Zeitz, said that the chances of having a boy are more like 51 to 49, but the genes of the mother and father don't play a role. See more. I wish I had let me ask Siri. What should I ask her? Should I ask Siri? All right. Siri, if you have 10 children, what's the chances that they'll all be the same gender?
I found this on the web. There are 10 chances out of 512 that all 10 babies are boys, and another 10 chances out of 512 that all 10 babies are girls. Such an event is unusual because its probability is so small, which is basically what I'm saying. The probability is too small. It's possible, but it's too small to say that I've had 10 children or more and they were all the same gender. They were all boys. It's possible, but it's highly unlikely. So we're reading about Japhet's children, and it's naming all sons. It's only talking about sons. But by chance, we can say by chance that he probably had daughters as well. All right, so let's just continue. So the sons of Japhet, Gomer, and Magog, and Madai, and Javin, and Tubal, and Meshach, and Tyrus, and the sons of Gomer, Ashkenaz, and Riphath, and Togarma, and Dodanim. Verse 5. By these were the Gentiles in their tongue, in their nations, right? So these is all the sons of Japhet and their sons. And it doesn't make mention of women. Now, you telling me that none of those men had daughters? They had daughters, but you don't read about them. Not to say that women aren't, important. Not to say that women have no place in the world. Of course you have a place, because you wouldn't have babies without women. men would not be able to procreate if there weren't women. You understand? So we need each other. However, when it comes to progenerating, it takes a man to progenerate, right? It takes a man's seed to create nations, to keep the population going. And it's all based on the son of this, the son of that, the son of that. This is called a lineage. Every nation on the earth has a lineage, and every lineage starts with a man. Okay? Let's see. Let's keep going. How about we drop down to verse 20? So the book of Genesis, chapter 10, verse 20. These are the sons of Ham, after their families, after their tongues, in their countries, and in their nations, unto Shem. So like, okay, my bad. So those are all the sons of Ham, right? So from where we were talking about Japheth's sons, it started talking about Ham's sons. And that goes back to what I was saying about Obama and how you are the seed of your father. Well, if you go back, Barack Obama's children are Hamites. I mean, Barack Obama's fathers are Hamites. He is the seed of a Hamite. And right here is a little book called the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary. And what we found in this book right here, this Bible dictionary, we found out that contrary to popular belief, Black people are not the descendants of Ham, but Africans are, Canaanites are, Egyptians are, but Black people, i.e. the slaves of America, of the transatlantic slave trade, are not the descendants of Ham. But of course, people like the Mormon church would like you to believe that Black people are from Ham. They would like you to believe that, which is not true. So I'm going to show you in the Compact Bible Dictionary. This word right here that you can't see, it's Ham. And we're going to read about Ham a little bit. This is Ham. All right. The youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood, and one of the 8 persons to live through the flood. Now, pay attention to this part. He became the progenitor. So, like he became the progenitor of the dark races. Okay, that's a key word. He became the progenitor of the dark races. Now, you would say in your mind right now, well, I got dark skin. This got to be talking about me. See, you're wrong, Itazab. Isupk don't know what they talking about. There it is right there. Ham was the progenitor of the dark races. And if you stop right there, that's probably what you would think. However, scholars are smarter than you. Scholars have read this Bible that belongs to Black people and said, well, there's something wrong about what they teach about this Bible. So this dictionary right here disproves the belief that so-called Africans are, or so-called African Americans are descendants of Africans or Hamites. So Ham became the progenitor of the dark races, semicolon, not the Negroes. That is a bomb drop. You understand? Ham is the progenitor of the dark races, but not the Negroes. Now, why wasn't anybody informed of this? Let's see who Ham is. First off, let's see when this book was written. Let me see if I can go to where it says that this book was published. This book was published in 1993. So that means for 30 years, for more than 30 years, 31 years, this book has been showed you that Black people are not Africans. But for the past 31 years, we've been calling ourselves African American. We've been going to Ancestry.com and paying all this goddamn money for us to for them to give us a false identity, as if they're going to give us a real identity after they stole it. And if you watch Roots, then you know that that's the truth. If you know anything about history, you know that's the truth. Because even in that movie Roots, they told Kunta Kinte, who's a false character, it's not his real name, it's not who he was, but they told this Kunta Kinte character that he's not Kunta Kinte, he's Toby. And that same thing happened to each and every one of our ancestors. They took away our name, took away our identity, took away our culture when we are the Hebrews. And they knew that. You understand? And you can that's for another class, but those slave masters, those slave catchers, those slave traders all knew that those people that they were getting, that they were capturing in Egypt, in Africa, were in fact the Hebrews. They knew this. You understand? So let's see who Ham is the progenitor of. Not the Negroes, but the Egyptians, the Ethiopians, the Libyans, and Canaanites. You understand? So all of those African nations are descendants of Ham. You understand? And here's another thing further. Africans, not every black person that lives in Africa is a Hamite. You might live in Africa and you may not be in Africa. You may not be a Hamite. You may be a Negro. You understand? You just live in that place because we were, of course, scattered all over the place. Joseph, when he was sold by his brothers, he became an Egyptian. Of course, they never looked at him as one of their own, but he had a place in Egypt. He lived in Egypt. You understand? He made Egypt his home, even though he was an Israelite, even though he was a direct son, literally the son of Israel or Jacob. But he lived in Ham. He lived in Canaan. You understand? He lived in Egypt. The same thing for a lot of us. Moses lived in Egypt. He was Pharaoh's stepson, if you would like. You understand? Or adopted son. That's a better word. Moses was Pharaoh's adopted son. Right? He lived in Egypt. So I say all that to say this, that just because you're living in Africa, or just because you're living in Japan, just because you're living in Australia, just because you're living wherever you're living, does not make you who you are. This is the knowledge you have to remove from your mind. You're not where you are. Where you are does not make up who you are. You are the seed of your father. So whoever your father is, you find out who your father is, you'll know who you are. And every nation knows that. Again, that's why they take on their father's name. They take on the women take on their husband's name. They know that. They know that your identity matters. Why? Because they know that your inheritance matters. You can't pass on an inheritance if you don't have a son. They know that. You watch these old like Gothic, medieval movies, and those kings and whatever, they knew that they had to give birth to a son to be the heir to their throne. They would not give their throne to their daughters. They didn't give up their kingdom to their daughters. That didn't happen. Nor would it ever happen. It's not the thing that's not what they do. You understand? Kings give their kingdom to their sons. All right, that's just how it is. That's how it's always been, and every nation knows that. All right, so let's drop that. Okay, now you might be thinking in your mind, damn, I'm still not sure. You understand? Let's go back to 10, and we're going to read. Let's read 21. It says, unto Shem, also the father of all the children of Eber, the brother of Japheth, the elder, even to him were children born. It's like the children of Shem, Elam, and Ashur, and Arphaxad, and Lud, and Aram. And the children of Aram, Uz, and Lud, Hol, and Gether, and Mash. And Arphaxad begat Salah, and Salah begat Eber. And unto Eber were born 2 sons. The name of one was Peleg, for in his days was the earth divided, and his brother's name was Joktan. You understand? Now these are, we have not heard one female at all. The point I'm making is that you are the seed of your father, not your mother. And the devil, you understand, these small hat people, these people who, you know, spin dreidels and speak Yiddish, they say that you are your mother's child. They say that you're Jewish if your mother is Jewish. Their lineage is based on matrilineal. You understand? Where in the Bible, all we're seeing is how it's all patrilineal. And some might argue, well, Jewish people believe in the New Testament, or I'm sorry, actually, Jewish people believe in the Old Testament. So that kills that argument. And we're reading in the Old Testament. So where in the Old Testament does it ever say that, you know, your lineage is matrilineal? It doesn't say that. The only place that you will have an argument that, and you really don't have an argument, but the only place that you could even try to convince me that the lineage is matrilineal is if you go to Matthew 1:1, where it talks about the lineage of Christ. But of course, Jewish people don't believe in Christ. They don't believe in the New Testament. They're Old Testament to not only Torah only believers. They don't believe in Jesus. Yet they got a Jesus piece. You understand? So let's go to Matthew. Let's go to Matthew and see if this same lineage upholds, or does it change? Matthew chapter 1. Verse 1. All right. The book of the generation of Jesus Christ, the son of David, the son of Abraham. Abraham begat Abraham begat Isaac, and Isaac begat Jacob. And Jacob begat Judas and his brother. And Judas begat I don't like this scripture. I don't like this version. I think that's wrong. Let me double check. What kind of Bible is this? Say KJV. Let me just double check this. All right, no sweat. It says Judas. Okay, cool. I thought it would say Judah. No sweat. So Isaac begat Jacob, and Jacob begat Judas and his brethren. And Judas begat Phares, and Zara, and Tamar. And Phares begat Ezron, and Ezron begat Aram, and Aram begat Aminadab, and Aminadab begat Nisan, and Nasan, and Nasan begat Salmon, and Salmon begat Booz and Rechab, and Booz begat Obed. I think that's I don't know why I say it like this, but I think that's Boaz. Boaz begat Obed of Ruth. Right. That's Boaz. Right. So Ruth is mentioned. You see Ruth is there. You understand? Boaz begat Obed of Ruth. And Obed begat Jesse. And Jesse begat David the king. And David the king begat Solomon, of her that had been the wife of Urias. You understand? Now, it's making mention of women, right? But then it's still talking about the sons. So you might be asking yourself, well, why is it making mention of women? You might think that these women are part of the lineage. And here's what you don't give credit to women for. These women are mentioned here because they did something prominent in the Bible. Notice women were never mentioned. Like out of those scriptures that we just read in Genesis, there wasn't even a woman mentioned. But if you read the Bible, you'll see books like Ruth. You'll see stories about Esther. You get books about Esther. You'll see stories about, Deborah. There are women in the Bible who have done prominent things, and they get their glory for it. We're reading about them because the Lord wanted to honor and glorify them. You understand? And so now you see them being mentioned in this lineage, which is great. However, it has nothing to do with the lineage itself. And that's what you got to keep in mind when we get to these next verses, right? So for the sake of time, it's just gonna, matter of fact, well, how much time I got? I'll just read it for purposes' sake, all intents and purposes. All right, verse 6. And Jesse begat David the king, and David the king begat Solomon of her that had been the wife of Urias. Now, the wife of Urias, that story is very prominent as well. So you would, that's why you see her mentioned here, but it don't even say her name. Not a knock. I'm just saying. It don't even say her name. It just says of her that had been the wife of Urias. If you know the story about David and that woman, then you understand what's going on. Verse 7. And Solomon begat Roboam, and Roboam begat Abiah, and Abiah begat Asa, and Asa begat Josaphat, and Josaphat begat Joram, and Joram begat Ozias, and Ozias begat Joatham, and Joatham begat Achaz, and Achaz begat Ezekias, and Ezekias begat Manasseh, and Manasseh begat Ammon, and Ammon begat Josias, and Josias begat Jeconias, and his brother. About the time they were carried away to Babylon, and after they were brought to Babylon, Jeconias begat Salathiel, and Salathiel begat Zerubbabel, and Zerubbabel begat Abiud, and Abiud begat Eliakim, and Eliakim begat Azor, and Azor begat Sadak, and Sadak begat Akim, and Akim begat Eliud, and Eliud begat Eleazar, and Eleazar begat Mathan, and Mathan begat Jacob, and Jacob begat Joseph, the husband of Mary. This part, again, is prominent because we all know the story of Joseph and Mary, right? Now, here's where it gets tricky if you let it. Some might argue that this is talking about Mary's lineage because, of course, this would debunk the idea that Joseph is not Christ's biological father if this is his lineage. And we just saw, I'm going to read that last part to you again. Eliud begat Eleazar, and Eleazar begat Mathan, and Mathan begat Jacob, and Jacob begat Joseph. So Joseph is the son of Jacob. And it says, the husband of Mary, of whom was born Jesus, who is called Christ. Now, why would it go through all of these sons and sons and begat just to make mention of a woman who was not begat by none of these men. The lineage all lines up, right? Christ was born from Jacob. How do you know? Because the prophecies even say that he would sit on the throne of his father David. Well, he can't be the son of David if he doesn't come from the line of David. And we can see, if we go back to Solomon, and David says, and Jesse begat David, the king, and David the king begat Solomon. So this is David's lineage, right? Why not start to go down the path of who Mary was begotten by? If this is not Joseph's son, if Joseph is not the father of Christ, why not go down the path of who Mary was begat by? Because it doesn't say that. It says that Joseph was begat by Jacob. You understand? So again, the point is, the whole entire Bible and life itself, it goes by patrilineal lineage. All right? It's who your father is that determines who you are. Okay, now with that said, and with that proven, talking about Kamala Harris. And hopefully this thing will load. I'm having tons of trouble with this computer. There we go. All right, so we're talking about Kamala Harris, right? And these are her parents. Now look at that. Once you know it, it looks like her daddy is black. Well, here's what you have to understand. Just like we ran down the lineage of Christ, you understand? So-and-so begat so-and-so, and so-and-so begat so-and-so, right? This man right here, Donald J. Harris, although he looks dark-skinned, although he looks like a black man, although it says Harris, who was recently endorsed by President Biden, talking about Kamala Harris, as the 2024 Democratic presidential nominee after he announced his decision to drop out of the presidential race, is the eldest daughter of economist Donald Harris, 85, and breast cancer researcher Shyamala Gopalan, who died of cancer at age 70 in 2009. Now, her mother is East Indian. But of course, your lineage is not based on who your mother is. And if it were, then people would be saying, well, she's East Indian. She's not black at all. It would only matter if her father was black. Well, let's dive into it. Is Kamala Harris's father black? Emphatically, no. Donald J. Harris is the father of Kamala Harris. He is a Jamaican American economist and professor emeritus at Stanford University, originally from St. Ann's Bay, Jamaica, of Afro-Jamaicans and Irish Jamaican. So he has two lineages. He has two origins, so to speak, right? We have to figure out which one is his, because of course you have a mother and you have a father, but who you are is based on who your father is. And he goes the same for his father, Donald J. Harris's father. So who is Donald J. Harris's father? I'm going to pull it up for you right now. His father is a man named Joseph Alexander Harris. All right, this thing is kind of loading slow. I see what I did. All right, give me 1 second. I'm trying to look at Ancestry, but I'm not logged in on here. Let me just put this. I'm about to share this in the chat too. Put up. All right, give me some time. This computer is loading super slow. Forgive me. Salakia to everybody. Please forgive me. This computer going super slow. I think the internet is bad. Y'all probably can't even hear me. Man. All right, forgive me, man. We're gonna move on. This thing is not taking. It's not working. All right. So Kamala Harris, once you do your research, you'll find out that Kamala Harris's father is actually an Irishman, a white man. Understand? Who was born in Jamaica. But if you know anything about Jamaica's history, there were a lot of Irish immigrants going to Jamaica for pay. You know what I'm saying? The easy working or whatever. They wanted to get paid. So they migrated along with the East Indians as well. East Indians were in Jamaica. You understand? Which will, if you do research, you'll also find out that Kamala Harris's ancestry has a lot of East Indian women throughout her family. All right. What the heck is this? So yeah. But we're gonna move on. Salakia. Forgive me for that. This is the book of Genesis chapter 25. chapter 25, verse 19. Better yet, let me get you the book of Numbers. Numbers. We'll start at chapter 1 and verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses in the wilderness of Sinai, in the tabernacle of the congregation, on the first day of the second month, in the second year, after they were come out of the land of Egypt, saying, Take ye the sum of all the congregation of the children of Israel, after their families, by the houses of their fathers. Understand? This is, again, we're talking about the lineage of your father, patrilineal. Okay, not matrilineal, by your mother. This is all patrilineal. Okay, it's based on who your father is. You can't be an Israelite, or i.e. a Jew, unless your father is a Jew or Israelite. Someone will have to show me where that is. I do not see that in the Bible. I don't see where it says you have to be from your mother. Not even in the New Testament. We just read in Matthew an entire chapter of men begetting men, or begetting men. You understand? And making mention of a woman, but never giving her credit for that lineage. Never saying, well, she begat so-and-so. There was not one she begat anybody. Why? Because these are men, and their lineage is who carry, their seed is what carries the identity of that child. Okay? It's always been that way. Still ain't working. All right. Verse, where we at? 3. No, verse 2. By the houses of their fathers, with the number of their names, every male by their polls, from 20 years old and upward, all that are able to go forth to war in Israel. Thou and Aaron shall number them by their armies. All right, verse 18. We drop down. And they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month, and they declared their pedigrees after their families. Let me give you the definition of pedigree, which is an important word to know, and many of you may know it. I want to give you the book definition of the word. All right, the word pedigree means the record of descent of an animal, showing it to be purebred. The recorded ancestry, especially upper class ancestry, of a person or family. So your pedigree, this is talking about your ancestry. It's talking about who you are, your breed, so to speak, your race, so to speak, your tribe, so to speak. All right. So they declared their pedigrees after their families by the house of their fathers. So your pedigree is based upon your father. Okay, your ancestry is based upon your father. That's in the Bible. This is not made up. This ain't religion. This is science. This is truth. In Genesis, Genesis chapter 10, it tells you about families and how they descend from their fathers. In the book of Matthew, it shows you all throughout the whole entire chapter that it shows you fathers and sons. All right. Even in Genesis, when we read about Adam and his children, it talked about his sons. And even if we were to go to Canaan's lineage, it's all about the sons. It's barely any mention of women at all. All right. The only way we knew that women even existed is because you had to have somebody to have those big babies with. So it had to be women. It wasn't like people just giving birth to sons by themselves and not having any daughters that other sons can have sons with. Okay. All right. So let's see more on this. How's the fathers according to the number from 20 years old and upward? Right. So that's what took place. Now let's go to Genesis 25. And then we're going to go back to the New Testament. I'm going to show you even furthermore. I'm going to show you even furthermore that your lineage is based on your father. Even in the New Testament. All right, Genesis chapter 25. And verse 19. Right. And make one cherub on the one end, and the other cherub on the other end, even of the mercy seat, shall ye make the cherubims. Hold on 1 second. Let me make sure I'm in the right spot. Oh, I'm in Exodus. Like it. All right. Book of Genesis, chapter 25, verse 19. And these are the generations of Isaac, Abraham's son. Abraham begat Isaac, and Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah to wife, the daughter of Bethuel, the Syrian of Padan Aram, the sister of Laban, the Syrian. And Isaac Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife, because she was barren, and the Lord was entreated of him. And Rebekah, his wife, conceived. Now, this is again this is telling you about Jacob and Esau's lineage. All right, this is telling you about the Israelites' lineage, but Esau as well, because they were twins. So in Israel's lineage, is everybody knows is based off of 3 progenitors: Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Okay, not any women. There were no women in that trilogy. There were no women in that pedigree. You understand? So how could who you are be based on mother is if mothers are never mentioned in the Bible? You understand? And even when we just read how Rebecca was the daughter of Bethuel and of Padaran, the sister of Laban, it still didn't mention her mother. You understand? It doesn't mention any of their mothers. It doesn't even mention Laban's mother. You understand? It only mentions the fathers. And Bethuel is the father. In case you didn't know, Bethuel is a man. So she's the daughter of Bethuel, the Syrian, and Padan Aram, the sister of Laban. You understand? So this is all based off of patrilineal lineage, not matrilineal lineage. You are the seed of your father. Kamala Harris is the seed of her fathers. You understand? An Irish man. Okay. Next we'll go to 1 Chronicles. Let's see where we at. We'll go to 1 Chronicles and we'll end it with that. So lucky if this thing was not loading. I don't know why I had it up. It just disappeared. And now it's not refreshing. And I got a loading arrow on my damn mouse. which is frustrating, but you know, nevertheless, the show goes on. Do your research. Always do your research. Book of First Chronicles. It's like, oh, my bad, Chronicles. Yeah, we're gonna go to Chronicles real quick. In the Old Testament. Better yet. Let me see. Let's see. Romans. Let's go to Romans chapter 8. All right. So now we're going to the book of Romans, chapter 8, verse 14. Okay. What should I start with? All right. The book of Romans, chapter 8, verse 13. For if ye live after the flesh, ye shall die. But if ye eat through the Spirit, do mortify the deeds of the body, ye shall live. All right. So, you know, you basically, this is talking about sin and, you know, becoming a new man, becoming different, becoming a, you know, this is beside my point, but just to give you context of what that's talking about, it's talking about becoming renewed, reborn, right? Christian church loves to use that word reborn. Do they really know what it means? It means to not live by the flesh, meaning don't do carnal things. Don't live carnally. What does it mean to live carnally? Meaning you like to do what makes your flesh happy. You like to do what fills your belly. You like to do what makes you climax and orgasm. You like to do what makes you, you know, feel good. You like to get high. You like to go and have sex with prostitutes. You like to fulfill the lust of the flesh, right? Well, this is saying, if you live after the flesh, ye shall die. That's what happens when you go and sleep with the prostitute and you get diseases. That's what happens when you eat whatever you want to damn eat and you get high blood pressure and all type of stuff. You understand? When the Lord told you what to eat. Okay? It says, but if ye through the Spirit do mortify the deeds of the body. What does it mean to mortify the deeds of the body? Kill those deeds. Kill what your body wants. Kill what your body finds good. You understand? What your body is trying to tell you to do. Your body wants you to sin against God. Your body wants you to break the laws, statutes, and commandments that God set up through his prophets and his priests. You understand? Well, you have to kill that spirit. And how do you kill? What is it saying? Is it saying to actually kill yourself? No. The Bible is not telling you to unalive yourself. The Bible is telling you you have to unalive that flesh, that fleshly person that you are, that old person, as we say in the UPK, that old man. You have to kill the old man and become new. You understand? Be reborn. Put on a new flesh, which is spiritual. All right. So it says, mortify the deeds of the body, you shall live. Verse 14, for as many as are led by the Spirit of God, they are the sons of God, not daughters of God, you understand, but sons of God. Here's the point in what I'm saying. It's just all about men. The army of the Lord are men. The flock of the Lord's pasture are men. I'll give you that real quick. All right. Ezekiel chapter 34, verse 31. And ye, my flock, the flock of my pasture, are men, and I am your God. You understand? This means men serve God. You understand? Men war for God. Men are who teach the truth, teach the gospel of God, teach the gospel of Christ. You understand? And teach the truth of the Bible. Men. You understand? We do that. Men do that work. This is why in the UPK, you don't see sisters coming up here to teach a class. They don't do that. They learn recipes. They learn how to make biscuits from scratch. They learn how they get good at making babies. You understand? They get good at making businesses. Those are the roles of a woman. And we don't take those roles away from them. We don't take those roles. We have our own roles in the UPK. A woman is good at making babies. She's, she has the ability to get pregnant. I can't get pregnant. I cannot walk around with a baby in my belly for 9 months, even if I wanted to. I can't do that. I cannot take that right away from women. It's just what they were given. And there's things that I do that she just can't do. She can't put seed inside of somebody and create a baby. She can't do it. You understand? She can't break down these scriptures and teach it to other brothers and sisters. She can't do it. The proof that she can't do it is the Christian church. It's every child that's on the street because he was raised by he was raised by a single mother. You understand? That's the proof that a man cannot play a woman's role and a woman cannot play a man's role. We have our roles, and the Lord made that clear what our roles were. It never was blurred in these scriptures. It was never blurred here. It only gets blurred in America. It only gets blurred in the Christian church, the Catholic church, the Muslim mosque, the Buddhist, whatever they had, wherever they had. You understand? It only gets blurred there. It only gets blurred in politics. You understand? Here's the takeaway from what we just learned. Sonia Massey is an Israelite. Her father is an Israelite. She is the descendant of Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Kamala Harris is not, man. Sonia Massey is who we should be talking about. That's who we should be worried about. We shouldn't be worried about no goddamn Irish woman named Kamala Harris. We should be worried and focused on Sonia Massey. Where is Sonia Massey, man? What happened to Sonia Massey? We should be thinking about our next campaign to bring awareness to what happened to Sonia Massey. Not worried about a goddamn campaign about Kamala Harris, man. Who gives a damn about that Irish woman? It's not our people. They don't give a damn about Sonia Massey. Why the hell ain't Kamala Harris putting $1 billion in the Black community like she did to the Jewish community? You understand? Why is she building up funds in programs that benefit Black communities? You don't see that happening. You never see it happening. But we just want to we want to be a part of America so bad. We want to be a part of their government and the false hope that they give Black people so bad. And there is no hope for America. America is doomed. If you were tuning in last week, when I taught class last week about Alexander the Great, or Alexander the Greek, as I call him and his people are descendants of Esau. And Esau and America is bound for destruction according to the Bible. So why the hell are we propagating their kingdom? Why are we praying for their kingdom to grow when God is against their kingdom? The Most High Christ is against their damn kingdom. The Most High God is against their kingdom, man. You understand? We got to realize our priorities, man. Our priorities are us, not them. With that, I'm going to end the class. The water for tuning in. The water, everybody. Shalom. Yahweh Shem Yahweh Thumb to all the brothers. Yahweh Shema. Thumb Shem Yahweh to all the sisters.